Good morning, and thank you for watching the Farm and Pastor's Wife this morning. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about gardening. It is almost that time of year. Even though it's still winter, it's time to start thinking about gardening. And then at the end of our discussion, I'll show you the supper we had last night, the poor man's supper we had last night. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Okay, so I thought we would talk about gardening, and I need to give you a little bit of back history on kind of my mindset of gardening. I was raised here on this farm, and my daddy grew a garden every year. In my mind, he was a master gardener. I don't think that he would actually be considered a master gardener, but in my mind, he was. He could grow anything and grow it well. And so when Bright and I got married, we had a garden and did quite well. My daddy died when I was 15 years old, so a kid is not interested in gardening. And now that I'm an adult and I'm interested, I don't have my daddy to ask questions for. But anyway, Bright and I have muddled along and have done pretty good as a garden. When we lived in Tobaccoville, we had a garden almost every year there. I can't think of many years that we didn't have a garden. So a couple years ago, we moved back home to Asheboro, and we moved in June, and so we did not have a garden that year because we were in transition, and it just wasn't feasible. The next year, we had a garden, but we pretty much just let it go to waste. Which is a shame, and I'm ashamed to admit that, but we did. We were just busy. We were getting used to having the poultry farm, which is a commercial poultry farm. We were learning that. We were newbies, and so we were learning that whole new lifestyle. We also were a new pastor and pastor's wife at a new church, so we were getting to know our parishioners and our flock. And so we just didn't have time to put into it. Well, last year, on March 16th, I had an artery dissection and almost died. And so as I was getting well during the gardening months, I just did not have the stamina or strength to put into a garden. But this year, I'm like stoked. I want a garden. I want a garden. I'm not probably 100% as far as my strength and energy goes, but I just need to have a garden for me. Now, let me go back a little bit. When we were in Tobaccoville, at the parsonage, I kind of had this homesteading mindset. I kind of got caught up in that, the self-sufficiency stuff. And I knew my family would never be like completely self-sufficient or one of those off-the-grid families. Although that lifestyle really appeals to me. But I knew we could never be fully that. But I did want to grow and preserve my own food. And I wanted to have my backyard chickens and da-da-da-da. Now that we're here and we have a poultry farm, of course, we cannot have backyard chickens now that we have a poultry farm because they worry about contamination, and it's just part of the rules. You can't have your backyard chickens. So, so really my self-sufficiency is mainly into my food. We do have a freezer full of beef that we grew and raised ourselves. I would like to have some more animals. I'd like to have a pig to grow out and butcher so I can fill my freezer up with pork. But that's not happened yet, and that's something I'm working towards. But as far as the garden goes, we do a big scale garden. And so this year, since I don't know how my energy is going to hold up, I don't know how that's going to work, we're scaling it back a little bit. and just so I don't get overwhelmed. Plus, I'm keeping Judah, and I don't know how much he's going to allow me. I do want a greenhouse, and I was pretty adamant that we get one this year, but the more I think about it, I think I may wait and work on the greenhouse next year, or actually start working on it now, but not plan to be in it and working it until next year. I do want to get into saving my seeds and starting my plants from seeds. But this year, as we're getting back into it, I don't want to bite off too much to where I become overwhelmed. I want to do it little by little. And but so what I thought I'd do on the Farm and Pastor's Wife was I'd take you with me as we garden. I would bring you with me as we harvest and we preserve, we can, we freeze, we do all kinds of things. I think that's a lost art, and I'm excited to see that it's coming back. And I've always loved to can my food, especially green beans and tomatoes. Love it. So we're gonna do that on the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Now let me just say, my garden, although I totally believe in the organic movement, our chickens, our poultry farm are completely organic. But as far as the garden goes, it's not going to be a completely organic, but I'm going to, as much as I can, make it as organic as I can. I need to do more research. I need to get more knowledge. I really need to have more time. But my plants are just going to come from a standard plant place. So I will try not to use pesticides. But if we have a bug problem, I'm going to have to use something. And hopefully I can do my research and learn more about it. So it's a learning process. But just so you know, my garden is not going to be an organic garden. I do have a couple of raised beds, and I'm hoping to make one more. And in my raised beds, I'm going to have like my lettuce in one, and then my herbs in another. Maybe some garlic or onions in one. But in my big garden, the main things I'm going to concentrate on growing this year are green beans, tomatoes, squash and zucchini, cucumbers, and peppers. Did I say peppers? Those are going to be the main things. I always grow purple hull peas, and I never do anything with them, which is a shame because I love purple hull peas so much. Love them. And maybe next year I'll have them. I may plant half a row this year. I don't know. But I'm going to concentrate on my green beans and tomatoes, the things my family eats the most of. And in the tomatoes, I'm going to try to make salsa. I'm going to try to make, other things other than just canned stewed tomatoes. Of course, I love those. I can just open a jar and pour it in a cup and just sit and eat a cup of stewed tomatoes. I love them. Love them. I also want to purchase some fruit trees. I need to do some research on that to see when the best time in North Carolina to plant fruit trees is. So if you know that answer, give me a comment below. If you have any suggestions for me, please comment below. I am going to have some pretty trellises. Normally our trellis for our green beans, it never works, and it makes picking green beans horrendous, and nobody wants to do it except for me. And what we normally do is we put T-posts, and then we just tie string between the T-posts. And this year I'm going to use woven, like cow panels, like the woven wire cow panels. We're going to use those and let them grow up that. And I may even use that for my cucumbers as well. Oh, I'm going to plant some okra too. We love fried okra, especially in the summer. And I'm gonna make okra and freeze it. And so we're just gonna work on gardening this year. And I may be the only one working on garden. Last year, well, we didn't have one last year, but the year before, the weeds just took over. And that does not make gardening fun when you have to deal with weeds. So I am going to use a, it's poly something, but it's like a woven fabric that you put down on the ground. You can still, the roots of the plants can still breathe, but weeds can't get up through it. And I'm just going to put them right up next to the plants. And then so my only weeding will be around the plants. Excuse me. Y'all, I'm sick if you can't tell. Anyway, bless me. My throat hurts. It's in my chest. I'm coughing and it's up here. So I don't feel well. But anyway, so I am going to start planting my garden. I'm also going to go out to the raised beds probably tomorrow and clean those out and get those ready to put seeds in. I got to do some more research to see. I don't usually do like the cold weather planting or the early spring planting like your lettuces and cabbages and stuff. I kind of want to. So I need to do some research on when is the best time to do that. And so yeah, anyway, it's an exciting time. And we're going to learn a lot, and we're going to do some canning and preserving. There is no better feeling than to preserve your own food that you raised, that you grew, and that you harvested yourself, and that you have taken care of. It's just a great feeling to provide for your family that way. I can't grow everything we eat, and let me just say, I know my family will never be fully self-sufficient because we're just too busy. We're just too busy, and we're busy about good things. And we have a growing ministry and a great church that is very active. And we have the poultry farm. We have children, and we have a grandchild now. It is just, we'll just never be one of those off-the-grid families. Although that, like I said, that lifestyle really appeals to me, and I love to watch all the shows about it, and it just will not ever be us. And so I'm not setting myself up to be that way and then be disappointed. I'm just going to start somewhere, do the best I can, and make progress each year. And I've done this throughout my years of being an adult. And I'm proud of every can I've put up. I'm proud of every apple butter jar that is canned. And so I just would like to have some fruit trees where I have my own apples and don't have to go buy apples to make my apple butter. But that's kind of a fun family trip when we go up to the mountains and get apples. So anyway, there it is. My gardening plan. Not much of one yet, but it's coming together. And as I go through my seed catalogs and Baker's Creek, I've got like a cart on my online at Baker's Creek, and it's full. I'm going to have to eliminate some things. But if you look at Baker's Creek, that's a great place. They're heirloom seeds, and it's a great place to try new and different things. We love German Johnson tomatoes. Love them. But I also wanted to do some different varieties. And I also want to have some cherry tomatoes because we're going to eat a lot of salads. And we're going to try to get healthy. And Bryant is way ahead of me on this health thing. He's on a diet, and he's lost almost 20 pounds. And I don't even want to diet yet. So, but anyway, let me show you the supper we had last night. And y'all have a great day. And I'll bring you along with every step of my garden. And when I go out to clean out my raised beds, you're coming with me. And you'll see how bad they look. and then we'll get to see how they look at the end of the season. So y'all have a great day, and stay tuned. I'll show you my supper from last night. Hey guys, and thank you for watching The Farm and Master's Wife. Tonight we are going to have a poor man's supper. We are having kielbasa sausage, sauerkraut, cornbread, and pintos. I put on pintos earlier today, and I just need to warm those up. I got them on. I did not have any side meat to go in my pintos. Normally, if I have like side meat or end pieces, you know, or country ham, I didn't want to put bacon in it because the bacon I have is like a smoked flavor, and I didn't want that in my pintos. So what I did was I had a beef bouillon cube, I had some oil, and I had some salt. So that's all I put in my pintos, and they are really good. Really good. I missed the side meat, but they're really good. I've got cornbread already made. It's fixing to go in the oven just as soon as my oven preheats, which is almost there. And so now I'm just cutting up the kielbasa sausage. I have been planning and thinking about a garden, and I'm so excited I can't hardly stand it. Here, let me get the cornbread in the oven. Let me go back to the sausages. I cut them on the diagonal, sort of. And I don't like mine real thick, so. But anyway, I've been thinking about a garden, and had the seed catalog out. We're wanting a greenhouse, but that may not happen this year. Maybe next year before that happens. We didn't have a garden last year because I was sick. And that was when I had my hospital stay, and well, that happened in March, and I just wasn't well yet, so we didn't have one, so I've missed it. And the one we had before that, we were just getting used to being poultry farmers. We were getting used to our new ministry here in Asheboro, and it kind of went to waste. We just didn't have time for it. Yeah, I've got another half of one in the refrigerator. We may use it. Ooh, these pintos are smelling good. Okay, let me bring you guys over here. Now, we went and ate lunch one day after church. We went and ate lunch with our youth pastor and his wife. And she had this supper with a few extras. I mean, she had a nice spread. Mine's really pitiful tonight, but and that's kind of what got us started. Now, we would have sauerkraut when I made like bratwurst hot dogs. But to have them sauerkraut weenies, I grew up with them. My mom and dad had them all the time, but I did not like them, and so I never fixed them until we went and ate with our youth pastor, and they were so good. And so his wife kind of got me started on this. And I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to do that other one. I may cook it with some onions and peppers in a day or two. So I'm just going to fry these up, get them brown, and then I'll pour the can of sauerkraut on top. So yeah. Okay, here is our supper. Our pintos with that wonderful looking gravy. Juice, pinto juice, sauerkraut and kielbasa weenie, and a big old cake of cornbread. So there it is. Well, there you have it, a poor man's supper. Thank y'all for dropping in and visiting with me on the farm. If you'd like more videos like this, then please hit the subscribe button. And we got some exciting things coming up. We're going to start talking gardening and all kinds of things. So come back, give me a thumbs up, and hit the bell notification, and subscribe, and tell your friends and family to subscribe. Y'all have a good night. Thanks. Bye.